in this lab, you're going to develop a text calculator. So we're going to try 3 input values that are actually specified in your instructions. You should really refer to the instructions for the detailed breakdowns for how the income can be split up to 4 parts, depending on how large the income is, and also depending on what the filing status is, which can be either single, household, or married. Depending on these 2 parameters, so your income tax can be split to up to 4 parts. Either 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, or 4 parts. Okay, let's demonstrate to see how different inputs might give you different result. Okay, first of all, the first value, let's try. So you can see that with the title over here should be EECS 1022 Winter 18 Lab 2 Text Calculator. So this must match. And then you must be the user must be able to specify input their name. And also there should be a spinner over here to select the status, in which case we got 3 options. It has to be verbatim, single, married, or household. And then after that, the third input would be the income value, which should be might have some fractional part. Okay, let's try something that's integer, but your input, your app should really allow also some fractional number to be input. Okay, let's try this one first. Okay, enter your name. Let's say Alan over here, and then let's say Alan is a single filing user. Okay, and now in this case, let's put his income to be, okay, so we don't have to change the status over here. So let's say for the income, it should be 186. Okay, let's say 186, and then 476. Okay, so that's Alan. Okay, once after the income, of course, you should really also allow, for example, if I say 0.0, that should also be allowed. So not just integers. The input values we give to you happen to be integers, but you must be able to accept also double values. Okay. Okay, after this, so I'm going to say compute text. Okay, now let's see in more details. As soon as you click on the button here, it's going to collect the result. Okay, now your result should contain the following lines. The first line must be the name, comma, your tax due is the total amount with a $sign. And then the second line should be to tell the user the calculation is based on which scheme of the filing. In this case, because we chose single, so that should be single filing. And then depending on how large the input income is, so now in this case, it can be split up to can be split to 4 parts exactly, up to 4 parts. Okay, in this case, 4 parts. You can see that if you add up the numbers over here, 835, 3,840, and 12,075, and also 31,267.80. So if you add up these 4 numbers together, it should be exactly the tax Alan should pay. Okay, at the first line. Okay, so you should really, if you're really not sure about how these can be calculated, you should really refer to the instruction. It tells you how you can break it down and then do the weighted sum. Okay, so let's try the second one. Okay, the second one over here, let's change the name to be Mark. And let's say Mark is a different, has a different filing status. Let's say Mark is a married filer. Okay, so we chose married over here. And now the income is going to be, let's see what it should be. Okay, for Mark, it's going to be 137,137. Okay, so of course, make sure it's a valid number. $137,035 and $35. Okay, that's for Mark. And if you compute the text, okay, let's see. So now it would say that what's the amount due in the first line? It must be exactly to say Mark, comma, your tax due is this amount. Okay, and then calculation on the second line, calculation is based on the scheme of married filing because we chose married for the input. And then in this case, Mark's income is only going to be split into 3 parts. Okay, you should really see why in the instruction. Okay, so this will be 3 parts. In this case, part number 4 should just be 0, in which case you don't print it out. Okay, so let's just see a final input value over here. Let's try another name over here. Let's say Tom. Okay. Again, these are just examples, so you should really try your own inputs to try to make sure. Try different possibilities in which the income tax can be split to maybe 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, or 4 parts. Okay, let's say Tom is a household filer, and then what about income? Let's say for the income over here, let's say it's 11,800. Okay, $11,800 for Tom. And then we say compute text. And then if you see the output here, again, the first line, the name, comma, your text due is, in this case, $1,180. And then make sure every time when you display the numbers, the total text, and also the breakdown, you must display exactly 2 digits after the decimal point. It's a hard requirement, so you must do that in your app. Okay, in this case, we will say calculation is based on the scheme of household filing on the second line. So that's also important, depending on what you chose for the status spinner. Okay, and then in this case, we only say part 1, and that's exactly that amount. Okay, so now we have demonstrated to you 3 possible input values, and that should be sufficient for you to get an idea how your app should behave. But you should really try different values to make sure your app is really working properly for all the cases.